Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk about the latest episode of The Flash. It was called Armageddon Part 3. And at the beginning, we see where Barry is explaining to Black Lightning that he's been doing bad stuff that he wasn't aware he was doing. As well as that, he forgot that Joe died. And he asked Black Lightning to invoke the Injustice Protocols, which I guess they came up with as a group, the Justice League, to depower him permanently. Black Lightning is reluctant, but agrees to do it. Iris shows the team footage of Joe's death on a train track, which appears to show Joe disappear right before a train hits him. And Cecile flips out that she, just out of the blue, without any warning, whipped out the laptop and showed the footage, which I guess is understandable. It was funny because, of course, Joe's been dead for 6 months. And so Iris had to explain in a very quick line of dialogue why she only realized that this is in the footage now. And the reason for that is she didn't watch the footage at first because just too much pain, I guess. But why would you then at any point watch footage of your father being hit by a train? Like what? It just didn't make sense. I don't know. They should have come up with something else, seems to me. Anyway, Black Lightning and Barry go about depowering Barry by cutting his connection to the Speed Force by blasting him with current through a special conduit. Whatever. Iris, meanwhile, keeps seeing cosmic dust or something everywhere she goes and thinks that she knows what happened to Joe. Cecile and a psychic Meta that I guess was in a previous episode that Cecile had interrogated cooperate to find Barry with their abilities, and Despero is seemingly piggybacking off of their efforts, like duh. Iris meets with the Still Force guy, whose name I forgot, and is it Dion? I can't remember, and asks him to undo her temporal sickness treatments, which would cause her to be unable to keep from slipping between timelines. And when he does this, it allows him to see that someone had used the negative Still Force to change the past and kill Joe. Despero, for some reason, turns on the particle accelerator at Star Labs and then attacks Cecile and the Psychic to get info on Barry's location. Black Lightning and Flash fight when Black Lightning backs out of depowering Flash partway through the process, and then Flash decides not to lose his powers before Despero arrives to kill Flash, but is stopped by Black Lightning when he's distracted by Iris and Still Force guy, who arrive to tell Despero about the timeline change, I guess thinking that's going to back him off. Barry then escapes to the future through a Still Force vortex and ends up seeing Iris engaged to Eobard, I guess after he had himself died, Barry. So that was the episode, and honestly, I think it was terrible. It was just crappy. And the whole scene between Barry and Black Lightning was drawn out and ridiculous. Take my powers. No, I don't want to. Take my powers. Okay, I will. I'm taking your powers. We really shouldn't be doing this, though. Yeah, but I want you to. Oh, yeah? Well, fight me. Okay, let's fight. Fight, fight, fight. You know what? You're right. Never mind. Don't take my powers. It was just dumb. And it seemed to me to be written that way to fill time in the episode. Maybe this thing should have been a 3-parter. They got 2 more episodes to go. I don't know. But I am interested to see what happens in part 4 and what they do with the whole Eobard Iris thing. Because, of course, in the comics, Eobard, who is, of course, Reverse Flash, is extremely jealous of Barry Allen's life, to the point where he, if I'm remembering correctly, wanted to be with Iris in place of Barry, and sort of tries to do that, and then when he can't, he kills Iris, which starts off a whole chain of other stuff, which a couple of years later ends up in Barry killing Eobard when Eobard is about to kill, at that point, Barry's fiance, whose name I forget, but it's the woman that he ended up with sometime after Iris died. So it'll be interesting to see where they're going with that, because the whole concept of Reverse Flash and Iris has a history in the comics. Not that they were ever together, but the idea of him being interested in her and all that stuff has a genesis in the comics. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this episode. It was crappy, folks. That's really all there is to it. So I'll be back with a review of part 4 when it comes out. Until then, I wish you peace and long life.